Hashtag the Hollow Song of Vrenna. Hashtag Chapter 1, The Whisper in the Attic. Eldermoor festered like a scar on the shadowed heart of Europe, its jagged cliffs and gnarled pines encircling a village of stone houses sagging under centuries of rot and dread. Its age was a mystery. Some swore it outlasted the crumbling monasteries on the hills, others whispered it was born on soil cursed before the stars took shape. The villagers moved like wraiths, faces carved with suspicion, voices hushed beneath the wind's ceaseless moan. They spoke of the Hollow, a forest beyond the cliffs where trees grew too close, their branches knotted like veins, hiding truths no soul dared seek. And they spoke, in trembling whispers, of the song, a mournful hum seeping from the hollow on moonless nights, not music but a voice that knew your sins, your fears, your name, and sang them back in a tongue older than bone. Vrenna Kael, 16, scoffed at the song. Faith had long deserted her. Her mother's death a decade ago left her with a father lost to whiskey and a brother, Torin, 18, whose silence was a wall she couldn't scale. Vrenna haunted the attic of their decaying house, sketching faces she didn't know, eyes too wide, mouths frozen in silent screams, places she'd never seen, her pencils tracing images that felt like shards of another soul. Her nights were plagued by dreams of a voice, soft, cold, relentless, calling her name from a darkness that pulsed like a living heart. She kept the dreams secret, even from Lira, her only friend, who devoured tales of ghosts and curses with a zeal Vrenna envied and mocked. "You're too stubborn, Vrenna," Lira said one gray afternoon, perched on the low stone wall at the village's edge, cliffs looming behind, the hollow's trees a black smear on the horizon. Her red hair burned in the fading light, freckled hands twisting grass into knots. "You can't just dismiss the stories. The song's real, people don't make up things like that for nothing." Vrenna rolled her eyes, sketchbook open on her lap, pencil scratching a gnarled tree, its branches curling like claws, roots sprawling like veins. "They do when they're stuck in Eldermoor, Lira. Nothing happens here, so they invent ghosts. The song's just the wind." Lira leaned closer, voice dropping, green eyes flicking to the forest. "My gran heard it once. Said it wasn't sound, it slithered inside her head, sang her thoughts back, twisted them. She never went near the hollow again." Vrenna snorted, pencil pausing, dark eyes meeting Lira's. "Your gran thinks the baker's cat is a witch's familiar. I'll believe it when I hear it myself." Lira sighed, tossing the grass into the wind, shoulders slumping. "Fine. But don't come crying when it calls your name." Vrenna didn't answer, pencil moving again, tree in her sketch sharpening, roots bleeding ink, branches reaching for something unseen. She didn't speak of the dreams, the voice, the way it felt like it was waiting for her to reply. She didn't mention the attic, where she'd found the book. It lay hidden beneath a loose floorboard, wrapped in cloth that crumbled like ash, its leather cover black as coal, etched with symbols that seemed to writhe when she looked away. The pages were brittle, filled with script she couldn't read, letters twisting like thorns, words pulsing under her fingers, alive, heavy, hungry. She'd found it a month ago, the day the dreams began, the day the voice started whispering her name. She told no one, not Lira, not Torin, not her father, who'd sell it for a bottle. She kept it in a locked box from her mother's trunk, hidden under her bed, and every night, she opened it, tracing the symbols, mouthing the words, though they made no sense. They felt like a secret carved for her, a promise she couldn't escape. That night, the house was still, save for the creak of rotting wood and her father's drunken snores. Torin was out, likely at the tavern, dodging their father's rages. Vrenna sat cross-legged on her bed, book open, candle casting shadows that danced like specters. The symbols glowed faintly, edges sharp, forms slithering like smoke. She traced a line, lips moving silently, words sinking into her throat like stones, cold and unyielding. "Vrenna," the voice whispered, not from the book but from the air, sharp as a blade, cold as frost. She froze, heart hammering, breath catching, fingers tightening on the book. The candle flickered, flame bending, though the window was shut, room sealed. "Who's there?" she hissed, voice trembling, eyes scanning shadows. No answer, but the air thickened, shadows deepened, room chilled, warmth drained like blood. The voice came again, inside her skull, weaving through her thoughts like ice. Asterisk, "You found me. You opened the door." Asterisk. Vrenna slammed the book shut, hands shaking, breath ragged. The candle snuffed out, plunging the room into darkness, only a sliver of moonlight slicing through the window, casting twisted shadows across the floor. She scrambled off the bed, bare feet cold against wood, heart thundering as she backed toward the door. The shadows moved, not with the moon but against it, forming shapes, tall, thin, edges bleeding into dark, faces blank, smooth, featureless, like her sketches come alive. One reached for her, hand pale, claw-like, fingers twitching, touch a whisper of frost promising oblivion. She screamed, voice raw, hands fumbling for the door. She yanked it open, stumbling into the hall, shadows trailing, voice chanting her name, relentless, a lullaby sung by something not human. She ran downstairs, feet slipping on worn steps, breath gasping, heart pounding. The house was dark, her father's snores unbroken, air thick with whiskey and decay. She didn't stop until she reached the front door, throwing it open, night air biting her skin, village silent under a moonless sky. The hollow loomed beyond the cliffs, trees a black wall, branches swaying though the air was still. From the forest came the song, low, mournful, not music but alive, notes weaving her name into their melody, pulling at her soul like a tide. ## Chapter 2, The Traitor's Echo. Morning brought no relief. Vrenna's throat was raw, hands trembling, books pulse a constant in her chest, songs echo clawing her ears. She couldn't tell Torin, couldn't face his questions, his anger. She couldn't tell Lira, whose belief would make it real. She sat at the kitchen table, sketchbook closed, tea untouched, staring at the wood's grain, as if it held answers. Torin was there, dark hair messy, eyes tired, hands wrapped around a chipped mug. He watched her, jaw tight, voice low. "You look like death, Vrenna. What's wrong?" "Nothing," she lied, voice flat, nails digging into her palms under the table. "Just bad dreams." He leaned forward, eyes narrowing, voice sharper. "You're lying. You've been strange for weeks, hiding in the attic, barely talking. Tell me." She wanted to confess, the book, the voice, the shadows, the song, but the words stuck, heavy, sharp, like the symbols in her dreams. Speaking them felt like giving them power, like opening a door she couldn't close. She forced a smile, lips tight, eyes avoiding his. "I'm fine, Torin." "Really?" He didn't believe her. She saw it in the way his hands tightened on the mug, eyes lingered, but he didn't push. "I'm here," he said, voice low, almost pleading. "You know that?" She nodded, throat tight, hands trembling as she grabbed her sketchbook, fleeing to the attic before he could say more. She didn't see the gray patch on his chest, faint but spreading, where the figure had touched him in her dream, or was it real? Lira found her later, red hair bright against the gray morning, eyes wide with excitement as they walked to the village square. "There's a trader in town," she said, hands waving, scarf flapping. "From the hills, maybe farther. He's got weird stuff, books, charms, things that look cursed. Want to see?" Vrenna hesitated, stomach twisting, books hum louder, a warning in her chest. But Lira's enthusiasm was a distraction. "Sure," she said, voice quiet, clutching her sketchbook, steps heavy. The trader's stall was a chaotic sprawl, rings tarnished, pendants twisted, books with cracked spines, vials of liquid shimmering unnaturally. He was old, face a map of wrinkles, eyes sharp, hands steady. He smiled as they approached, teeth yellow, voice smooth like oil over water. "Something special for you?" he asked, eyes locking on Vrenna, smile widening, hands pausing on a small, leather-bound book, its cover etched with symbols matching her own, edges glinting like embers. Lira leaned forward, fingers brushing a silver pendant shaped like a crescent moon. "What's this do?" she asked, voice eager, scarf slipping. The trader smirked, eyes on Vrenna. "Protection, child. Keeps shadows at bay. But your friend, she's found something, hasn't she?" Vrenna's heart raced, breath catching, hands clutching her sketchbook. "I'm not looking," she snapped, voice raw, eyes avoiding the book, its symbols pulsing like a heartbeat. He tilted his head, voice a whisper. "The Hollow Song doesn't call just anyone, girl. You hear it, don't you?" Lira frowned, hands pausing, eyes darting between them. "Vrenna, what's he talking about?" "Nothing," Vrenna said, voice sharp, hands trembling as she backed away, sketchbook slipping, hitting the cobblestones. She bent to grab it, fingers brushing stone, eyes catching the trader's smile, too wide, too cruel, hands cradling the book, symbols flaring, like eyes watching. Lira grabbed her arm, voice tight, eyes worried. "Vrenna, you're scaring me. What's going on?" "Let's go," Vrenna whispered, voice barely audible, eyes fixed on the ground, avoiding the trader, the book, the symbols, the hum following, the song whispering her name. They left the square, the trader's laughter trailing, low and jagged, like the voice in her dreams. The hollow loomed, trees darker, branches swaying, song louder, calling her closer. Hashtag Chapter 3, Shadows Stir. That night, sleep was impossible. The book's hum was alive, pulsing in her chest, head, bones. Vrenna lay staring at the ceiling, candle burned out, moonlight casting jagged shadows that moved, forming faceless shapes, writhing hands, eyes that weren't eyes. The voice came, sharp, piercing, inside her skull, asterisk, open the door. Let us in. Asterisk. She sat up, heart hammering, breath ragged, hand reaching for the box under her bed. She told herself she'd destroy it, burn it, bury it, end this nightmare. But when her fingers brushed the leather, the hum surged, symbols flared, light flooded the room, shadows twisting into figures, tall, thin, faces blank, hands reaching, voices a chilling chorus, asterisk, you opened the door. You set us free. Asterisk. Vrenna. Torin's voice cut through, raw, urgent, his silhouette stark in the doorway, eyes wide, hands clenched. He stepped inside, voice low, angry. What the hell is that? She froze, hands clutching the book, heart thundering, eyes darting to shadows, figures, cold. Nothing, she lied, voice trembling, fingers tightening on the cover, leather alive. Torin's eyes flicked to the book, jaw tight, voice sharper. That's not nothing. What is it? Before she could answer, shadows surged, swift, sharp, like knives slicing air. The figure loomed, taller, blank face gleaming, hand reaching for Torin, touch of frost that burned. Vrenna screamed, dropping the book, pages fluttering, symbols flaring, light blinding, searing her eyes. Torin stumbled back, hands raised, voice raw. Vrenna, what is that thing? She didn't know, couldn't answer, mind a storm of fear, hands shaking as she grabbed the book, slamming it shut, hum fading but never gone, shadows retreating but never vanished. The figure dissolved, laughter echoing, sharp, wrong, like glass shattering in reverse. Torin grabbed her arm, grip bruising, eyes wild. You're telling me everything. Now. She shook her head, throat raw, hands trembling, book heavy in her arms, hum a pulse in her chest. I can't, she whispered, voice breaking, eyes locked on shadows, symbols, darkness. His grip tightened, voice a snarl. You're not keeping this from me, Vrenna. Not after that. But she didn't speak, words trapped, heavy, sharp, like symbols in her dreams. The hum swelled, song from the hollow weaving through, calling her name, promising things she couldn't grasp. Hashtag Chapter 4, The Hollow's Call. The next day, Vrenna hid in the attic, sketchbook open, pencil moving without thought, drawing faces, blank, eyeless, mouthless, places she'd never seen, symbols matching the books, edges alive, bleeding ink. The hum was constant, a heartbeat in her chest, song clearer, words a whisper, asterisk, you're mine. You've always been mine. Asterisk. She didn't notice shadows darkening, air chilling, attic walls creaking, pulsing like a living thing. But when the voice screamed, asterisk opened the door. Asterisk her pencil snapped, ink smearing, symbols forming a face, blank, pale, ravenous. She screamed, dropping the sketchbook, hands shaking, breath ragged, shadows surging, faces closing in, hands reaching, voices a chorus, asterisk, you set us free. Asterisk. She ran, stairs buckling, shadows chasing, hum roaring, song a scream shaking the house. She reached the kitchen, Torin there, eyes wide, hands grabbing her, voice raw. Vrenna, what's happening? She couldn't answer, figure behind her, blank face looming, hand brushing Torin's chest, skin graying, veins blackening, pulsing with a life not his. He screamed, hands clawing at his chest, eyes flickering, something else staring through. Run! Vrenna cried, pushing him toward the door, shadows closing, faces endless, hum deafening, song a roar. They burst into the street, Lira there, eyes wide, screaming. Vrenna, what did you do? The house collapsed, walls cracking, floors splitting, shadows surging, song shaking village, cliffs, hollow. Figures came, children, faceless, hands reaching, voices a chant, asterisk, join us. You're ours. Asterisk. Vrenna ran, Torin and Lira beside her, village fading, hollow closing in, trees darker, branches clawing, song an eternal promise. Hashtag Chapter 5, Into the Hollow. The hollow was another world, air thick with rot and sickly sweetness, trees pressing close, bark etched with glowing symbols pulsing with the hum in Vrenna's chest. Torin staggered, clutching his chest, grayness spreading, veins black, eyes flickering with something not human. Lira trembled, scarf lost, eyes red, voice raw. We can't stay here, Torin gasped, voice weak, hands shaking, breath ragged. It's in me. Black blood dripped from his lips. Lira nodded, clutching Vrenna's arm, voice a whisper. The song, it's louder. It's from deeper in. Vrenna didn't speak, throat tight, hands clenched, book gone, but its hum alive in her, song calling her name. They moved deeper, trees tightening, ground soft, slick with mud, something darker, pulsing like a vein. Symbols glowed everywhere, trees, rocks, earth, brighter, shadows writhing, alive. Look! Lira pointed to a clearing, black stones circling, carved with symbols flaring, pulsing like a heart. In the center stood a figure, not from Vrenna's dreams, but worse, form shifting, smoke, shadow, endless, face a void, eyes bottomless, ravenous. You came, it intoned, voice a chorus of screams, laughter, sobs, tearing reality, each note a blade slicing their minds. You opened the door. Torin screamed, collapsing, grayness consuming his chest, veins pulsing, eyes blank, featureless, like the children's. Lira backed away, voice breaking, Vrenna, what is it? Vrenna couldn't answer, mind a storm, hum in her chest, song in her head, figure's voice in her soul, asterisk, you're ours. Asterisk. Shadows surged, children came, faceless, hands reaching, voices a tide swallowing the clearing, stones, light. Vrenna screamed, hands clawing air, figure, shadows, mind unraveling, body shaking. Hashtag Chapter 6, The Cloaked Stranger. Darkness fell, song stilled, hollow quiet, only sound her name, whispered by something vast, ancient, waiting. Vrenna woke in the clearing, stones cold beneath, trees silent, symbols dim. Torin was gone, Lira too, their absence a wound in her chest. The hum lingered, faint, song an echo, her name its sole note. She stood, hands trembling, breath misting in icy air, eyes scanning trees, shadows, silence. Something stirred, a figure, not the one before, but human, cloaked, face veiled, hands holding a book, cover black, symbols glowing, like hers. You survived, the figure said, voice low, female, familiar yet wrong, a memory twisted. Few do. Vrenna's heart pounded, hands clenching, voice raw. Who are you? Where's Torin? Lira? The figure stepped closer, cloak whispering, book humming, matching her pulse. They're with the Hollow now. As you will be, unless you listen. Vrenna backed away, feet slipping on stone, eyes locked on the book, symbols flaring, like eyes watching. What do you want? The figure tilted its head, voice a cold whisper. To close the door you opened. The Hollow's voice doesn't sleep, it hungers. You woke it, Vrenna Kael, but you can bind it. Vrenna's throat tightened, hands shaking, mind flashing to book, symbols, song. How? The figure extended the book, pages fluttering, symbols pulsing, light casting shadows that writhe, forming faces, hands, eyes. Read it. Sing it. But no, every note will cost you. Vrenna hesitated, heart racing, breath ragged, hum surging, song rising, her name a curse. She reached for it, fingers brushing the cover, symbols scorching her skin, light blinding, voice as a chorus, asterisk, you're ours. Asterisk. Hashtag Chapter 7, The Ruin's Heart. The book weighed heavier, leather cold, alive, pages humming, symbols writhing, forming words she could read, searing her mind. The cloaked figure vanished, clearing empty, stones silent, but hum grew louder, song sharper, notes relentless, pulling her deeper into the hollow. She walked, trees closing in, branches clawing, symbols glowing, pulsing with song's rhythm. Air thickened, ground softened, rot and sweetness choking. She didn't know where she went, only that the book guided, pages whispering, her name their melody. Hours bled, or days, time dissolved in the hollow's grip. Trees parted, revealing a ruin, stone arches, shattered, pillars fallen, floor etched with symbols, sickly green, pulsing like a heart. In the center, a black altar, smooth, stained with something darker, alive, beating under light. Vrenna approached, hands trembling, book open, pages trembling, symbols flaring, light blinding. The song screamed, shaking ruin, trees, her soul. She read, lips moving, words heavy, slicing her throat, each note a gash, each syllable a chain. Vrenna. Torin's voice tore through, raw, desperate, his figure stumbling from shadows, skin gray, veins black, eyes blank, but voice his, pleading. Stop. It's killing you. She froze, heart shredding, hands gripping book, symbols burning, song roaring. Torin, she whispered, voice breaking, eyes wide, breath jagged. He lurched closer, hands outstretched, voice a sob. It's a trap. The book, it wants you to sing, to widen the door. Vrenna's throat burned, hands shaking, hum surging, song drowning Torin's voice, notes vicious, relentless. How do you know? His blank eyes seemed to see, voice a broken whisper. Because I'm theirs. Shadows erupted, children swarmed, faceless, hands seizing Torin, dragging him into dark, screams fading, swallowed by song. Vrenna screamed, voice raw, hands clutching book, symbols flaring, altar pulsing, ruin quaking, air splintering, reality bending. She read, words spilling, voice not hers, a chorus of screams, laughter, sobs, each note a blade, each word a shackle. The altar blazed, symbols burned, song roared, hollow shuddered, door yawning, revealing a vast, dark entity, eyes not eyes, mouths not mouths, hunger eternal. Hashtag Chapter 8, The Church's Secret. Vrenna woke on the forest floor, book gone, ruin gone, altar gone, song silent, but its echo lingered, her name a scream. She was alone, hollow still, trees mute, symbols dim. Her hands were scorched, skin raw, symbols carved into her palms, glowing faintly, pulsing like a heart. She staggered through the forest, air heavy, ground slick, rot and sweetness clinging, mind a fog of fear, guilt. The village emerged, houses dark, streets empty, silence crushing her chest. The church loomed, door ajar, stained glass windows cracked, saints eyeless, watching. She pushed inside, air thick with wax, decay, pews empty, altar bare. A figure stood at the pulpit, cloaked, face veiled, hands holding a book, symbols glowing, like hers. You're back, the figure said, voice female, soft, wrong, a memory twisted. The hollow doesn't release easily. Vrenna's heart pounded, hands trembling, voice raw. Who are you? What do you want? The figure stepped closer, cloak rustling, book humming, syncing with her pulse. I'm what remains of those who sang before. The hollow's voice needs a vessel, Vrenna. You're chosen. Vrenna backed away, hands shaking, eyes on the book, symbols flaring, like eyes watching. I won't sing. I won't open the door. The figure laughed, glass shattering, sharp, wrong. You already have. Look at your hands. Vrenna glanced down, breath catching, heart thundering. Symbols glowed brighter, pulsed faster, light casting shadows, forming faces, hands, eyes. The hum surged, song swelled, her name a curse, promise, chain. She screamed, church quaking, windows splintering, shadows surging, children coming, faceless, hands reaching, voices a chorus, asterisk, you're ours. Always ours. Asterisk. Hashtag chapter 9, The Village's Betrayal. The village was no sanctuary. Vrenna ran, streets twisting, houses blurring, windows dark, doors barred. The song grew louder, notes vicious, relentless, weaving her name, pulling her soul. Children swarmed, faceless, hands grasping, voices a tide swallowing light. She reached her house, door torn off, walls cracked, air reeking of rot, sweetness. Shadows waited, figures loomed, book lay open on the table, symbols glowing, pages fluttering, hum a roar, song a scream. Vrenna. Lira's voice came from upstairs, raw, desperate, her figure stumbling down, red hair wild, eyes frantic, hands trembling. You're alive. Vrenna's heart raced, hands shaking, voice raw. Lira, get out. It's not safe. Lira clutched her arm, grip bruising, voice a sob. I saw Torin, he's not himself. The Hollow took him, Vrenna. It's taking everything. Vrenna's throat closed, hands trembling, eyes on the book. I know, she whispered, voice breaking. Shadows lunged, children came, faceless, hands snatching Lira, dragging her into dark, screams fading, swallowed by song. Vrenna screamed, hands reaching for Lira, book flaring, house shaking, air fracturing. She seized the book, hands burning, pages searing, symbols scorching, singing. She ran, house collapsing, village fading, hollow swallowing, trees darker, branches clawing, song an endless vow. Hashtag chapter 10, The Keeper's Past. The Hollow was her prison, air thick with tendrils of decay, trees twisting like veins, alive, symbols pulsing with a hunger that mirrored her own dread. Vrenna walked, book clutched to her chest, pages open, words burning her mind, singing her name. She didn't know where she was led, only that the Hollow pulled her, its voice a relentless pulse in her soul. She reached the ruin again, arches crumbling, stones weeping black ichor, altar throbbing like a heart, alive, singing. A man stood there, robes frayed, face gaunt, eyes hollow as graves, hands gripping a staff carved with symbols that flickered faintly, like her books, but older, cracked, resisting. You're late, he rasped, voice like splintered wood. The Hollow's voice grows stronger. Vrenna's heart pounded, hands tightening on the book, voice raw. Who are you? He stepped closer, staff tapping the ground, symbols flaring, air humming with defiance. Father Aldrich, keeper of the Hollow's seal. I failed centuries ago, when I sang its song. Now, you walk the same edge, fail, or fight. Vrenna's throat burned, hands trembling. Fail how? Aldrich's eyes gleamed, voice a cold whisper. The book isn't your savior. It's a chain, forged by those before us, to bind the Hollow's voice. But it hungers, Vrenna. It chooses its singers, and it never lets go. Vrenna backed away, feet sinking into soft earth, eyes locked on the book, symbols pulsing like eyes watching her. You gave it to me. Aldrich laughed, a dry, bone-sharp sound. No. The Hollow chose you, your pain, your loss, your mother's blood. Vrenna's breath caught, heart lurching. My mother. His face darkened, voice reverent, bitter. Vrenna Kael sang for us, to bind the hollow. She failed, as all do. Her soul is its chorus now, and it wants yours. Vrenna's heart thundered, hands shaking, book's weight crushing her chest, song tearing at her mind. How do I stop it? Aldrich's smile was a blade. You don't stop it. You bind it, with blood, song, sacrifice. Every note you sing carves away a piece of you, until nothing remains. Her throat tightened, mind reeling. Torin. Lira. They're woven into its chorus, Aldrich said, voice a hiss. To free them, you must face the hollow's heart. Vrenna nodded, hands trembling, book open, symbols glowing, urging her to sing. Where is it? Aldrich pointed deeper into the ruin, where shadows twisted, forming a staircase descending into darkness, steps carved with symbols, pulsing like veins, alive. There. But know this, once you descend, there's no return. The song will claim you. Vrenna hesitated, heart racing, breath ragged, hum surging, song a scream, her name a curse. She stepped toward the staircase, book's light flaring, symbols burning, shadows closing in, voices a chorus, asterisk, you're ours. Asterisk. Hashtag chapter 11, The Descent. The staircase spiraled into a black abyss, steps slick with ichor, symbols glowing sickly green, casting shadows that writhe, forming faces, hands, eyes that weren't eyes. The air grew colder, heavy with rot and sweetness, pressing against Vrenna's lungs, hum a roar, song a scream shredding her mind. Her heart pounded, hands clutched the book, pages sizzling, symbols searing her palms, words burning into her soul. She didn't know how long she descended, the staircase twisted, endless, walls pulsing like a living thing, symbols sinking with her heartbeat. Darkness thickened, alive, clawing at her skin, making each breath a battle. Vrenna, voices whispered, a chorus of screams, laughter, sobs, each note a blade through her thoughts. You came. You're ours. She screamed, voice swallowed by the dark, hands shaking, book's light flaring, symbols blazing, forming faces, her mother's, Torin's, Lira's, blank, eyeless, mouths open, singing the song. Stop it, she roared, hands tearing at the book, pages burning but unyielding, symbols scorching her skin, song relentless, pulling at her core. The staircase ended, darkness parting to reveal a chamber, vast and cavernous, walls carved with symbols pulsing like dying stars, floor a black mirror reflecting a void, endless, ravenous. At the center stood an altar, massive, its surface slick with bleeding symbols, pulsing with dark, viscous life, a heart beating with the song's pulse. Vrenna approached, heart shredding, hands trembling, book open, pages screaming, symbols singing, song a roar shaking the chamber, walls, her soul. She read, lips moving, raw, words slicing her throat, each note a wound, each syllable a chain. Vrenna. Torin's voice screamed from the shadows, his figure lurching, skin gray, veins black, eyes blank, but voice raw, desperate. Don't sing. It's a lie. She froze, eyes wide, heart tearing, book's light flaring, symbols searing. Torin, she gasped, voice broken. He staggered closer, hands outstretched, voice a sob. The song, it's theirs. It'll take you, Vrenna. Everything. Her throat burned, hands shaking, hum surging, song relentless. How do I save you? His blank eyes seemed to see, voice a broken whisper. You can't. I'm gone. Run. Shadows erupted, children swarmed, faceless, hands ripping, dragging Torin into darkness, screams fading, swallowed by the song. Vrenna screamed, hands clutching the book, symbols flaring, altar tearing, chamber shaking, air fracturing, reality unraveling. She read, words spilling, voice not hers, a chorus of screams, laughter, sobs, each note a blade, each word a shackle. The altar blazed, symbols burned, song roared, hollow shuddered, door yawning, revealing a vast, dark entity, eyes voids, mouth screaming, hunger eternal, singing. Hashtag chapter 12, The Keeper's Betrayal. Vrenna awoke, body broken on the chamber floor, book gone, altar gone, chamber gone, song silent, but its echo lingered, her name a wound. She was alone, darkness broken, hollow gone, air heavy, alive, watching. Her hands were scarred, skin raw, symbols carved into her flesh, pulsing faintly, singing faintly, alive. She staggered, feet bleeding, hands bleeding, mind a fog of fear, guilt, loss. The village emerged, houses blackened, streets twisted, silence a lie, something watching, waiting, singing. The church loomed, door swinging, windows shattered, saints grinning, eyeless, alive. She pushed inside, air screaming with silence, pews warped, altar pulsing like a heart. Father Aldrich stood, robes tattered, face gaunt, eyes burning, hands holding a book, symbols flaring, alive. You failed, Aldrich hissed, voice a blade slicing her heart. You sang, and the door widened. Vrenna's heart raced, voice raw. I tore it. I fought it. Aldrich laughed, eyes not human, teeth black. You fought, you sang, you opened it. The Hollow's voice doesn't care. It wants your soul. Her throat burned, hands shaking, eyes on the book, symbols blazing, hungry, alive. You lied. You said I could bind it. Aldrich's smile widened, teeth sharp, voice a serpent's hiss. I'm bound, girl. Bound as you are now. The Hollow chooses its keepers, its singers, its chains. I served my time, now it's yours. Vrenna shrieked, church quaking, windows exploding, shadows erupting, children screaming, hands reaching, voices tearing, faces blank, singing, asterisk, you're ours. You're us. Asterisk. She ran, church screaming, altar blazing, book falling, pages burning, symbols bleeding, singing. Streets twisted, alive, houses dark, windows eyes, doors mouths, singing, alive. Hashtag chapter 13, The Hollow's Children. Vrenna fled, feet bleeding, lungs shredding, heart screaming, song a living thing, voice a chorus, notes a chain, binding her to the Hollow, into darkness, into itself. The village was gone, Hollow was all, trees clawing, shadows pooling like blood, symbols glowing, pulsing, singing her name, a scream. She reached her house, doors splintered, walls ash, air thick with rot, sweet and sick. The book lay on the floor, pages open, symbols flaring, bleeding, alive. Lira was there, eyes voids, red hair burning, hands reaching, singing. Torin was there, skin ash gray, veins black, voice empty, singing. Vrenna, Lira hissed, voice a scream, eyes voids, hands cold as death, singing. You sang us. Vrenna, Torin sang, voice a sob, eyes hollow, hands reaching, singing. Join us. Vrenna screamed, hands tearing air, book, shadows, song. She seized it, pages burning, hands screaming, symbols searing, song a roar, shredding her soul, her name, herself. She ran, house collapsing, village dissolving, hollow rising, swallowing, screaming, singing, trees clawing, shadows tearing, symbols a tide, drowning, singing. She ran, deeper, into darkness, into hollow, into song. Hashtag chapter 14, The Heart of the Hollow. The hollow was her reality, air thick, trees breathing, symbols alive, singing, pulsing, screaming. Vrenna was a shadow, book in hands, pages bleeding, words hers, screaming, burning. The song was her, voice her, hunger her name its scream. She reached the ruin, arches dust, stones bleeding, altar pulsing, alive, singing. Children stood, faceless, hands reaching, voices singing. Lira was there, eyes voids, singing. Torin was there, skin black, singing. Aldrich was there, flesh torn, grinning, singing. Sing, they chanted, voices a chorus, scream, laughter, sob, tearing. Sing, Vrenna, sing. She read, voice a scream, lips tearing, song a scream, soul a chain, singing, breaking. The altar burned, symbols blazed, ruin shook, hollow roared, doors splitting, darkness surging, revealing the thing, vast, endless, eyes voids, mouth screaming, hunger singing, eternal. But Vrenna fought, hands clawing, book ripping, pages bleeding, her name a scream, hers. She tore it, book, song, altar, symbols, children, hollow, dark, tearing, screaming, breaking, burning. The hollow screamed, trees fell, shadows screamed, symbols bled, silence screamed. Vrenna fell, hands burned, eyes void, heart void, soul screaming, her name a whisper, a scream, hers. Hashtag chapter 15, The Silent Pact. Vrenna woke in Eldermoor, or its shadow, village silent, houses ash, streets empty, cliffs gone, hollow gone, or was it? Her hands were scarred, skin raw, symbols pulsing faintly, whispering, singing. She was alone, Torin gone, Lira gone, Aldrich gone, their absence a wound, their voices echoes, singing, her name a curse. The church stood, doors gaping, windows black, saints grinning, eyeless, singing. Inside, the book lay on the altar, closed, symbols dark, but alive, humming, waiting. A voice whispered, cold, ancient, from shadows, asterisk, you closed the door, Vrenna Kael. But the song never dies. Asterisk. She didn't move, hands trembling, eyes on the book, hum in her chest, song in her soul, her name a chain, a curse, a whisper, singing. She turned, walked away, village fading, church fading, hollow waiting, its trees whispering, voices singing, her name calling, hers. Weeks bled into months, time a wound. Vrenna lived on the village's edge, in a shack of splintered wood, shunning church, square, cliffs. The song lingered, a hum in her blood, symbols pulsing faintly in her palms, alive. She stopped drawing, pencils snapped, sketchbook ash, faces burned, too real, too blank, too hungry. But the village stirred. Secrets grew, elders meeting in shadows, shutters locked, voices chanting. Vrenna saw them, cloaked figures slipping through night, hands carrying books, symbols like hers, burning. She heard tales, whispers of the hollow, of singers past, of a pact binding Eldermoor to the hollow's voice, trading souls to keep it sleeping. One night, she followed, feet silent, heart hammering, symbols burning. The church was a heart, alive, candles pulsing, voices chanting, ancient, singing. Inside, 12 stood, elders, the baker, Lira's mother, faces familiar, now twisted with fear, worship. At the altar stood a woman, cloaked, her voice from the clearing, soft, wrong, singing. You came, the woman intoned, eyes piercing Vrenna, symbols blazing, book open, pages humming. The pact calls you. Vrenna's throat tightened, hands shaking, voice raw. What pact? Who are you? The woman smiled, veil lifting, face a void, eyes endless, singing. We are keepers, bound by blood, song, to hold the Hollow's voice. I was Elia, as your mother was Mara. Now you, Vrenna, are the singer, the chain. Vrenna's heart shattered, mother's face flashing, pale, singing, gone. My mother, she gasped, voice breaking. Elia nodded, voice ablade. Mara sang to bind the Hollow, it took her. As it will take you, unless you join us. Vrenna backed away, eyes on the book, symbols burning, alive, hungry. I won't sing. I'm not yours. The elders laughed, voices a chorus, sharp, wrong, singing. You are ours, they sang, hands glowing, eyes blazing, faces blank, singing. Vrenna screamed, church screaming, altar blazing, shadows surging, children coming, hands reaching, voices tearing, singing, asterisk, you're ours. You're us. Asterisk. Hashtag chapter 16, The Broken Seal. Vrenna didn't stop, ran, feet bleeding, lungs screaming, heart tearing, song a name, her name, a scream, a curse, binding her. She tore to the cliffs, hollow's edge, trees bleeding, branches clawing, shadows screaming, song a roar, her name a tide, drowning, singing. She saw them, Torin, Lira, her mother, faces in trees, eyes voids, mouths open, singing, voices empty, hers, singing. Vrenna, they sang, a chorus, scream, sob, scream, you sang us. You're us. She screamed, hands tearing earth, ripping air, symbols, song, dark, light. She screamed, soul raw, name raw, scream a scream, tearing her name. But the song didn't die. It swelled, trees quaking, cliffs crumbling, hollow rising, screaming, singing, voice a tide, a roar, swallowing village, world, light. Children screamed, faceless, hands grabbing, voices a scream, singing. Elders sang, faces blank, hands glowing, singing. Elia sang, face veiled, book burning, singing. Hashtag chapter 17, The Singer's Echoes. The void wasn't empty, it was alive, endless, hungry, shapes stirring, not shadows, but echoes, forms of singers past, faces blurred, eyes hollow, mouths open, singing, hands reaching, singing her name, not hers, theirs, hers. They were singers, keepers, chains, bound to the Hollow's voice, souls woven into its eternal song, its scream, eternal. One stepped closer, a girl, younger, hair pale, eyes voids, voice a whisper, broken, singing. I was Soren, she said, hands trembling, symbols blazing on palms, like Vrenna's. I sang, and it took me. You sang, and it keeps you. Vrenna's heart raced, hands shaking, voice raw. What is this place? She demanded, eyes tearing into the void, singing. Soren's eyes gleamed, empty, voice a sigh. The Hollow song, its memory, it's hunger. We're singers, souls, trapped, singing. You fought, but fighting binds you deeper, Vrenna. Vrenna backed away, clawing air, symbols burning, fighting. I won't stay. I'll break it. Torin laughed, voice like wind through bones, faint, wrong, singing. Break it, you break yourself. The song is you, Vrenna. It always was. More came, men, women, children, young, old, faces blurred, symbols burning, voices singing her name, their names, the Hollow's name, endless. Her mother was there, Mara, eyes blank, hands reaching, singing, Vrenna, my child, you sang, as I sang, as we sing. Vrenna screamed, hands tearing air, mother, song, void, name. No, she roared, cymbals blazing, hum roaring, song tearing, void shaking, singers fading, voices lingering, singing. She ran, void endless, shapes chasing, singers, echoes, hands singing, voices reaching, singing, her name a chain, a curse, a song, hers. Hashtag chapter 18, Mara's legacy. The void didn't hold, it shattered, light bleeding, not light but memory, blood, time, twisted, screaming, singing. Vrenna fell, not falling, into a memory, Mara's, her mother's, a village burning, streets alive with screams, faces melting, eyes bleeding, hands clawing, symbols singing, air singing, Mara singing. Mara stood, young, fierce, hair like Vrenna's, eyes blazing, hands holding a book, symbols burning, voice a scream, singing, fighting. I won't let you take her, she roared, voice raw, tearing at shadows, at faceless hands, at voices singing, asterisk, Mara, you're ours. Asterisk. Vrenna watched, frozen, heart tearing, as Mara fought, book burning, symbols blazing, village collapsing, shadows surging, singing. A figure loomed, not the Hollow's voice but something older, vast, its form ancient, eyes endless, mouth singing, Mara, sing, sing. Mara screamed, voice a weapon, sang, song a blade, tearing pages, tearing symbols, tearing air, void, shadow, song. But the book burned her hands, burned her soul, symbols searing into her skin, her eyes, her name, singing, taking her, singing. The memory broke, void surged, Vrenna screamed, hands reaching for Mara, her mother, gone, screaming. Mother, she cried, voice raw, tears burning, symbols burning, Mara's voice echoing, singing, you're mine, Vrenna, fight, fight, sing. She stood alone, void gone, memory gone, but not, her hands burning, like Mara's, burned, symbols like hers, pulsing, singing, alive, alive, singing. The song lingered, her name, Mara's name, her name, a scream, a curse, a promise. Hashtag chapter 19, The Breaker's Rebellion. The void didn't end, it cracked, reality bled, fragments spilling Vrenna into a place not Eldermoor, not hollow, but both, streets of stone, alive, writhing like veins, trees twisting, clawing sky, church a heart, black, pulsing, singing. Figures waited, not singers, not shadows, but others, cloaked, faces scarred, hands blazing with symbols glowing, not the Hollows, but jagged, defiant, burning, singing. A man stepped forward, old, scarred, eyes fierce, staff carved with symbols, clashing, humming, fighting, singing. You're Vrenna Kael, he said, voice low, like stone, steady. I'm Gavin, last of the breakers. We've waited for you. Vrenna's heart raced, hands shaking, symbols burning. "Breakers?" she asked, voice raw, streets twisting, air singing. Gavin nodded, staff striking ground, symbols flaring, air pulsing. "The breakers, those who refuse the pact, who broke free, who fight the keepers, the hollow, the song. Your mother Mara was one, before she sang. You are, if you choose." Vrenna's throat burned, Mara's memory flashing, singing, gone. "She fought," she whispered, voice breaking. Gavin's eyes softened, voice ablade. "Mara fought to end it. She sang to bind it, to save you, Torin, Eldermoor. The song took her, but you can finish her fight." Vrenna's hands shook, eyes on Gavin's, symbols clashing, song surging, void whispering, singers singing, her name, singing. "How?" she asked, raw. Gavin pointed, church, gaping, altar glowing, book pulsing, symbols blazing, the heart, not in the ruin, not the void, but Eldermoor's soul. "Break the book, break the pact, break the song. But it costs everything." Vrenna nodded, hands blazing, symbols fighting, hum roaring, song a scream, her name hers, screaming. She stepped toward the church, breakers following, streets quaking, trees screaming, void cracking, singers' voices fading, her name a weapon, a scream, hers, singing. ## Chapter 20, The Keeper's Defector. The church pulsed like a living beast, walls bleeding black ichor, windows screaming, saints eyeless, mouths open, singing. Vrenna stood, hands trembling, book burning, symbols pulsing, alive. A figure emerged from shadows, not a breaker, not a singer, but a keeper, young, barely 16, face pale, eyes wide, hands shaking, holding a book, symbols cracked, fighting. "I'm Lisa," she whispered, voice raw, eyes darting. "I can't serve them anymore." Vrenna's heart raced, hands shaking. "Lisa? You're a keeper?" Lisa nodded, voice breaking. "They forced me, after my sister sang and died. Elia, the elders, they lie. The pact feeds the Hollow's voice, not protects us." Vrenna's throat burned, eyes narrowing. "Why help me?" Lisa's hands shook, book trembling, voice a sob. "I saw your mother in you. Mara tried to break the pact, she failed, but you're here." Shadows surged, keepers singing, children coming, hands reaching, voices tearing. Lisa shoved her book into Vrenna's hands, symbols clashing, light flaring, air cracking. "Take it," Lisa cried, voice raw. "It's a key, a fracture. The Hollow's heart is in us." Vrenna seized it, hands burning, books merging, hum a roar, song a scream, streets collapsing, keepers closing, singing. ## Chapter 21, The Forgotten Choir. The void deepened, folding into itself, revealing a choir, countless, forms shattered, bodies woven into shadow, eyes burning voids, mouths singing, layered, discordant, eternal. They were remnants of a civilization lost before Eldermoor, worshippers of the Hollow's voice, their souls bound to its melody, names erased, voices its own. One emerged, cloaked in ash, face half-formed, eyes like dying embers, hands clutching a staff bleeding light, symbols clashing with the Hollows, singing defiance. "I am Caliph," it rasped, voice a chorus of whispers, screams, songs. "First to bind the voice, first to fail. You, Vrenna, carry our curse." Vrenna's heart pounded, hands shaking, symbols burning. "Caliph? You knew my mother. Kaeletha's eyes flared, voice a wound. Mara was my kin, centuries removed. She sang my song, as you sing hers. The Hollow's voice was our god, our hunger, until it consumed us. Vrenna backed away, void pulsing, choir singing, her name a scream. Why me? Kaeletha's staff burned, cymbals searing, voice a blade. The voice chooses those who resist, those who burn. Your blood, Kael blood, is its fire. You fight, and it grows. Vrenna's throat screamed, hands shaking, song tearing. How do I end it? Kaeletha's face twisted, half smile, half scream. You cannot. Bind it, as I did, as Mara tried. The song is eternal, but its chains can be yours. The choir surged, voices rising, singing her name, Kaeletha's, Mara's, the Hollow's, tearing reality. Vrenna screamed, hands tearing air, void, choir, song, her name a weapon. Hashtag chapter 22, The Shadow's Adversary. The void didn't end, it twisted, revealing not just the choir but something else, a presence, not singer, not keeper, not breaker, but other. Its form flickered, light, shadow, eyes like shattered stars, limbs endless, coiling like smoke, singing a song not the Hollow's, but older, sharper, defiant. I am Vorin, it intoned, voice a chorus of breaking worlds, eyes piercing Vrenna, symbols burning on its form, clashing with hers, with Kaeletha's, with the Hollow's. I am the Hollow's adversary, bound as you are, to break its song. Vrenna's heart raced, hands shaking, symbols burning. Adversary. You fight the voice. Vorin's form pulsed, eyes flaring, voice ablade. I was born of its breaking, a fragment of its first binding. Kaeleth chained the voice, I was the chain's shadow, its defiance. You, Vrenna, are my echo. Vrenna backed away, void trembling, choir singing, Kaeletha's eyes narrowing, singing. Why now? Why me? Vorin's limbs coiled, voice a scream, a song. The voice stirs, its hunger unbound. You sing, and it wakes. I offer you my song, a counter, a fracture, but it will burn you, Vrenna, as it burned me. The choir screamed, Kaeletha's staff blazing, cymbals clashing, void cracking, singing. Vrenna hesitated, heart pounding, song surging, her name a scream, a chain, a weapon. Sing with me, Vorin urged, eyes endless, form unraveling, singing, or become the voice. Vrenna screamed, hands reaching, cymbals burning, void tearing, choir fading, Kaeleth fading, Vorin's song rising, singing, her name hers, singing. Hashtag chapter 23, The Traitor's Blade. The church was a battlefield, walls bleeding, veins pulsing, windows screaming, altar a heart, alive, singing. Vrenna stood, hands blazing, holding two books, hers, Lisa's, cymbals clashing, singing, fighting. Breakers fought, led by Gavin, staffs burning, eyes fierce, singing defiance. You brought us here, Gavin said, voice steady, staff cracking ground, cymbals flaring. The war begins. Vrenna nodded, heart pounding, song surging. The altar, it's the heart. We break it. Keepers surged, singing, Elia leading, face void, eyes endless, song a tide. Children swarmed, faceless, hands ripping, voices tearing. Breakers fought, staffs clashing, cymbals burning, air fracturing. Lisa stood beside Vrenna, hands trembling, eyes wide, singing, for Mara. A breaker betrayed, young, eyes like Torin's, daggers stained with Vrenna's blood, symbols red, hollows, singing. I had to, he whispered, voice breaking. They sang my brother. Vrenna screamed, hands tearing, books burning, symbols blazing, song a war. The traitor lunged, dagger flashing, but Lisa threw herself forward, blade sinking into her chest, blood spilling, symbols fading, singing, dying. Lisa! Vrenna roared, catching her, tears burning, hands burning, books screaming, song tearing, church shaking. Lisa's voice faded, a whisper, singing, break it, for us. Another betrayal, Gavin's lieutenant, a woman, eyes cold, staff turning, symbols hollows, singing. For power, she hissed, striking Gavin, blood spilling, breakers faltering, keepers surging, singing. Vrenna screamed, hands blazing, books merging, symbols roaring, church collapsing, altar cracking, void opening, singing. Hashtag chapter 24, The Hollow's Truth. The void wasn't darkness, it was truth, a place beyond Eldermoor, beyond hollow, beyond song, where time was a scream, space a wound, symbols alive, singing, older, deeper, eternal. Vrenna stood, blood hers, Lisa's, Gavin's, books burning, symbols singing, her name a scream. A figure rose, not Elia, not Aldrich, not Mara, not Caliph, not Vorin, but the voice, formless, vast, eyes voids, mouths endless, singing. You sang, it sang, voice a chorus, scream, sob, laugh, tearing, eternal. You sang, Vrenna Kael, and the song is you, is us, is all. Vrenna's heart screamed, voice raw. What are you? I am the hollow, the voice, the song, before gods, before stars, before you sang. Vrenna screamed, backed away, void endless, truth endless, song endless. I fought you. I broke you. The voice laughed, sang, voice a tide, eternal. Break me, break you. The song is sung, Vrenna. You sang, and you are ours, eternal. Vrenna's hands tore air, void, truth, song. She saw it, Eldermoor a seal, a prison, a womb, for the song. The book, a fragment of her soul, woven by Caliph, broken by Mara, reborn in her, eternal, singing. She sang, not its song, but hers, Mara's, Torin's, Lira's, Sorin's, Lisa's, Caliph's, Vorin's, voice a scream, a weapon, a chain, breaking, singing. Hashtag chapter 25, The Shattered Self. The void didn't hold, it fractured, revealing not just the voice but Vrenna, versions of her, endless, eyes hers, faces hers, but twisted, singing, not her song, but the hollows, their hands reaching, their voices tearing, singing her name, not hers, theirs, hers. You are us, they sang, voices a chorus, scream, sob, laugh, tearing. You sang, and we are you, eternal. Vrenna screamed, hands tearing air, selves, void, song. One stepped closer, her face, her eyes, but wrong, eyes voids, mouth singing, hands bleeding symbols, singing. I am you, Vrenna, the one who sang. Join us. Vrenna's heart raced, hands shaking, symbols burning. You're not me. The other Vrenna laughed, voice a blade, singing. We are you, every choice, every song, every scream. The voice is us, and you are its heart. The choir surged, singers, keepers, breakers, selves, singing, tearing, her name a chain, a curse, a song. Vrenna screamed, hands tearing, cymbals blazing, void cracking, selves fading, voices lingering, singing. Torin appeared, not blank, eyes his, voice his, singing, Vrenna, fight them. Lira beside him, hair red, eyes hers, singing, you're not theirs. Vrenna's heart tore, hands reaching, cymbals burning, song surging, self screaming, void tearing, Torin and Lira fading, singing, sing, Vrenna, sing. Hashtag chapter 26, the final song. The church was no more, Eldermoor gone, hollow gone, reality gone, but alive, singing. The altar stood, a heart, bleeding, beating, singing, books fused, cymbals blazing, song a scream, tearing all. Vrenna sang, voice raw, hands raw, soul raw, hers, not hollows, hers. Breakers sang, broken, bleeding, singing. Singers sang, Mara, Torin, Lira, Soren, Lisa, Caliph, Vorin, singing, hers. Keepers wept, Elia fading, singing. The traitor sang, dagger gone, blood his, hers, theirs, singing, Vrenna, I sang for you. The other Vrennas sang, voices tearing, self-surging, hands reaching, singing, you're us, eternal. Vrenna screamed, voice ablade, a light, a scream, tearing books, tearing altar, tearing cymbals, tearing song, tearing hollow, tearing void, tearing selves, tearing truth, singing. The hollow screamed, trees ash, shadows dust, cymbals blood, silence singing. Vrenna fell, or stood, or was, hands burned, eyes hers, heart hers, soul hers, her name hers, a whisper, a scream, a song, hers. The void was gone, or not, Eldermoor gone, or not, hollow gone, or not, singing. She heard it, faint, a hum, not hollows, but hers, theirs, Mara's, Torin's, Lira's, Soren's, Lisa's, Caliph's, Vorin's, a song, not curse, not chain, but memory, defiance, singing. She walked, into light, or dark, or nothing, or all, singing, her name a song, hers, forever, singing. But in the void, a shadow stirred, Vrenna, not Vrenna, eyes hers, but not, singing, a new song, not hers, not hollows, but something else, spreading, singing, beyond Eldermoor, beyond all, singing. End.